2 today. Thanks for hanging out with us. You know what we are going to talk about this morning? We're going to talk college football to get it started. We got our Heisman finalists, those 4. Take a peek at those. Some bowl game intrigue. If there's any bowl game intrigue out there for you guys, you might want to be watching. Some of the lines, all the lines are out, which is interesting to look at. But yesterday, I had a little fun. My email populated with our predictions.
Oh.
Did you see it? It just automatically came in like you scheduled it.
It's bold.
The 25 CFP predictions that we predicted back. Oh, when was that email? I don't know, but it came to us on December 7th. 7 p.m. It came out. Mine went in my email. It should be in your email.
Why did it not come through to mine? Because it's not sitting in my schedule anymore.
Well, you're on there.
Oh, I missed this.
Oh, well, that's odd. No, it came to mine. I'm in.
All right, well, we have it at least.
Yeah, we have our predictions of what we predicted before this season even started.
It's gonna be rough.
It's not bad, actually. We'll go through yours. I'll give you yours. These were your predictions. These were your 12, along with our Heisman predictions.
We were way off.
Yours was way better than mine, by the way.
I remember mine was my guy even he wasn't even a finalist.
No, he wasn't a finalist, but he could have been. He's better than mine. Here's what you had, by the way: Florida,
yuck,
Texas, yeah, Georgia.
Okay,
you got one in.
Bang.
Clemson, Georgia Tech, Notre Dame, controversial. Iowa State, Penn State, Oregon,
yeah,
Ohio State,
yeah,
Illinois, and Army. Your Heisman Trophy winner was Jeremiah Smith.
So I went 3 for 12.
Yeah,
4 for 12. 4 for 12.
Well, let's see. What would that count?
That would be a Bear K-esque shooting.
Yeah, from beyond the arc. Here's what Hooksy had.
That'd be a Justice Rhodey midterm.
Yeah. Wow.
I've got all A's. I don't know what we're talking about.
Oh, okay. Whatever.
All right. Here's what Hooksy
I'm
had.
cleaning up right now.
Here's what I had.
I'm Charles Barkley down low. If I'm missing, I'm grabbing that dadgum rebound. Come on now.
I had Texas, Alabama, Georgia, Oklahoma. Now it's where it gets a little rough. Clemson, Georgia Tech, Penn State, Oregon, Ohio State, Texas Tech, Notre Dame, Boise. I had 6 of the 12.
Okay.
But my Heisman winner.
Oh, my God. Did you pick Keg Club, Nick?
Yes.
Yeah, he did.
So that probably cancels all of what I tried to do in the playoff.
He's probably off geocaching. That's geocaching.
That probably negates all that I did in the College Bowl playoff predictions. I had 6 of the 12. Not bad. Kate Club, Nicky. What a joke.
Shows what we know about college football.
Yes, absolutely nothing.
We got NFL playoff predictions coming away in about a month here. So
wait for those.
Yeah.
Those will be fun.
Hey, mine look pretty good outside of picking Miami to win the division. But hey, they're like in the playoff hunt now, so I might not be a complete idiot.
Yeah, we're gonna get to those. We're gonna talk playoffs here coming up a little bit. Then your Heisman finalists got announced. What do you guys think? Mendoza, Sayin, Love, Pavia.
We all know who's winning it.
Mendoza, right?
Yeah, it seems pretty obvious.
Should he win it? Is the question. Should he?
Just based off the Big Ten championship game? Absolutely not. Based off of an entire season's body of work? Yeah.
Let me say, this feels like one of those seasons where no one really deserves it.
I was just going to say, because when you go back and look at the numbers that quarterbacks had that have won it, running backs that have won it, you're talking numbers close to 2,000 yards rushing. You're talking 30-plus. You're talking quarterbacks with 50-plus touchdowns.
Marcus Mariota, whenever he won it, 60 touchdowns through the air and on the ground and only 4 turnovers all season long. That's a Heisman season.
These are less. I mean, again, they've had all 4 of these gentlemen have deserved to be there. Less than they've had great seasons, but I think less than impressive Heisman type seasons.
And one thing to note as we evaluate Heisman's moving forward is college football schedules are harder than they've ever been before in the super conference era. And when you're looking for a Heisman candidate, for the most part, we're looking Big Ten, SEC, and maybe an ACC or Big 12 guy. But it's the Big 12 and the SEC have the hardest schedules ever. You're playing more top 10 and top 25 opposition, unless you're Nebraska, than ever before. Nebraska got lucky this year with their schedule. But that's not the standard. The standard is you're going to be playing multiple top 25s and likely multiple top 10 opponents per season, whether if you're in the Big Ten or the SEC. So does that change statistics compared to like Marcus Mariota, who's gone up against a Pac-12 that was bad the year he went and won it? They ran the table through that Pac-12, and who was good that year? Stanford was all right. Was anything else worth anything?
Mm-mm.
I felt like USC weren't they at least decent?
I thought they were down that year.
Well, they were down a lot of years in there, but I thought they were like okay.
That was what 20...
UCLA. Would that have been a good UCLA year?
Let's check. This is 2014, right?
Yes, I believe you're
maybe correct. Washington might have been decent.
What's this?
But you look at this and you're talking about the favorite right now as you're looking up 2,980 yards passing, 33 touchdowns through the air, and 6 touchdowns on the ground. So 39 touchdowns, less than 3,000 yards passing.
This was the year whenever Arizona was good.
Yeah.
Arizona was top 10 and Oregon beat them 51-13. The only other team they played that finished the year in the top 25 was Utah.
Was this before Scooby Wright III was playing linebacker for Arizona and then he jumped in a pool when he got drafted? That was pretty funny.
Oh, this was a good year for UCLA as well. So they played three teams that were finished the season ranked.
USC was down that year?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So interesting obviously those are probably the 4 that deserve to be there.
But that was the question is do we need to reevaluate like Heisman numbers moving forward just because of how difficult everyone's schedule is?
I agree. Yes. Especially now, again, the 9 conference games, you got 9 going with the SEC next year. You got a bunch of teams scheduling these preseason type games that are against big time opponents. But yeah, I think that is a conversation to be had as you look at this year. 4 respected players in college football, but compared to other Heisman Trophy winners, you're going to go, less than impressive when you look at the numbers. And we talk about 60 touchdowns and running backs running for 2,000 plus. The one that's most likely going to win it under 3,000 yards passing and 39 total touchdowns on the season.
It's a ho-hum Heisman year.
Yes.
But last year you had 2 great. I mean, Travis Hunter and Genty both deserved to win the Heisman last year, no matter which side of that argument you were on. This year, I can't make a strong argument for any of these guys to win the Heisman.
These aren't
the argument for Pavia is not the fact that his numbers were great. The argument for Pavia is he did the unthinkable at Vandy and won 10 games with them. Was it 9, 10, whatever it is?
10
yeah.
2.
But is that an indictment on Pavia, or is that more of a credit to that offensive line and that defense that's been built up?
That's the thing, is that's why Pavia, like you look at his numbers and it's just
he's the face of a great structure that's been built up by Clark Lee.
Yes.
And that's a credit to Clark Lee. I think he's done a tremendous job at Vandy.
But like, I mean, you just look at the Heisman finalists and I go,
It's just, and again, I think when you look at some of the Heisman numbers you look at, you look like game-changing athletes goes into that. And I don't know if any 4 of these are the game changer that you look for.
Well, I think like Jeremiah Love is a game changer.
Could be,
his numbers just kind of stink in terms of like a running back with a Heisman case. Like he is like, he will go to the NFL and he will make a team very, very happy that he is their running back.
Oh, he'll be going in the first round of fantasy drafts in your fantasy football league next year.
But yeah, it's like the thing is like he's the face of a team that controversially, whether you believe it, whether you believe they were in or out, got left out of the college football playoff. He's the team. He's the face of a team that didn't do enough. He's the face of a team that when they came up against their 2 biggest opponents, didn't do enough. So, I mean, if you want to spin the narrative on this, I mean, Pavia or Mendoza probably is the best narrative. I don't know. Saying feels boring, but he did his job all year. Like he drove a self-driving car at Ohio State. They kind of laid the structure out for him, and he just made sure not to get behind the wheel in manual mode and whip that thing into a ditch.
He was Ubering around in a Tesla.
Yeah. I mean, literally, all he had to do was not turn the ball. The biggest indictment on Julian Zane should be Ohio State's game plan, the Big Ten championship game. They did not try to do anything special offensively.
Nothing special there.
And you can blame Brian Hartline for that. I mean, you can blame Ryan Day. You can blame whoever for that offensive game plan. They were just like, well, we don't think Indiana's scoring because their defense is awesome, so we're just going to try to not put it in their lap. And they still failed at that. But, I mean, they scored 10 points. Like, sorry. If you're Ohio State, you're the quarterback of Ohio State, you got to get 20 plus. Sorry.
Easily.
Sorry.
Can we just give the Heisman to Ashton Genty this year?
Yes.
Yeah, retroactively.
Yeah, retro. Like, hey, my bad. My bad. We gave it one.
It's time for the Emmett Johnson fan vote.
So interesting is that that'll come up, and the bowl slate is set out there. Have you looked at it? Had a chance to look if there's anything intriguing? Because we talked yesterday about the bowl season not being.
I got an intriguing one.
Ho hum. It's like
I have
because,
two of them.
because we got opt outs. You got Iowa State opting out with their coaching thing. You got K-State opting out. Now Notre Dame, they're pouting, taking their ball home.
How about the fact that two of my preseason college football playoff teams, Clemson and Penn State, are playing in the Bad Boy Mowers Bowl?
Oh my goodness!
It's got intrigue written all over it. Two
Clemson,
teams that I thought could be competing for a national championship this year.
They're going to New York, baby.
They're heading to the Bronx in December.
Saturday at noon.
Guess what?
Saturday the 27th at noon.
Yankee Stadium.
You get to take the Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl trophy off of Nebraska. You get to do it.
2.5-point favorite, by the way. Clemson opens that one up.
There are some fun ones at the bottom of the scrap. The Birmingham Bowl between Georgia Southern and App State. Those two teams absolutely hate each other. That game's going to be awesome. And then the Rate Bowl between New Mexico and Minnesota. Yeah. I'm excited for that.
Also,
like that.
A couple other teams, if you look at it, one of the teams backed out. We know Notre Dame took their ball, went home. But that Pop-Tarts Bowl, that's the two other teams that had close proximity, possible college football playoff aspirations and bids. Georgia Tech, BYU will be in the Pop-Tarts Bowl. I'm trying to think some other ones out there.
Did you see the funny thing from the press conference of the Pop-Tarts Bowl? You see this? Where
Brent Key stayed in the live chat with Kalani Sataki.
So it was the coach's press conference before the Pop-Tarts Bowl. And Key stayed in. So he finished up his media session, and then he stayed in the room while Sataki was doing his thing, and he was doing a whole bunch of like the Zoom reactions where you can give like the clapping hands and whatnot. He was giving like reactions to Sataki's answers.
Incredible.
Like Sataki answered his favorite Pop-Tart, and they both agreed. Key said strawberry, Sataki said strawberry, and Key's in the chat room like giving a whole bunch of applause.
He had like the party streamer emoji. It was like, it's hilarious.
Yeah. So that could be a fun one just because those coaches seem to be fun.
It's going to be fun. Get along.
They're kindred spirits.
Yes, that's a great way to put it.
You've got I guess an intriguing Citrus Bowl on paper when you look at it. Got Michigan and Texas. They'll take on each other going on there. That'll be a New Year's Eve along with the Las Vegas Bowl. Nebraska, Utah. Currently 13.5, by the way, as I'm looking at it right now. Utah.
One I'm interested in here, and we'll see what these teams look like, how many guys stay in it, but Tennessee and Illinois.
Pretty decent.
Yeah. I don't even know which game is that.
That is Music City Bowl, Nashville.
City Bowl. Yeah.
I think also maybe an intriguing matchup as well is the ReliaQuest Bowl down in Tampa, which is Iowa Vandy. Contrasting styles of play.
I feel like Iowa for a couple years now kind of ho-hum and then goes off and kills some SEC team in the bowl game.
That was not Tennessee.
Yeah, okay, that's the exception.
Because Nico came out and absolutely spanked Kirk Ferentz.
So Iowa team's playing good football. I could totally 4 points is a lot of points. I would right now I would take Iowa +4 against Vandy.
Yeah. So
hey, what about Cal Hawaii in the Hawaii Bowl? You get to see two lefty Polynesians go out and absolutely sling that thing.
Yeah, give me points above points.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
I'm all about.
I don't know about defense in that game, but they're gonna score.
Defense is optional in that one.
Defense is leave it at the door. This is an open door policy here, buddy.
We haven't mentioned Nebraska and Utah.
I said it. It's a 13.5-point favorite. Nobody's interested in watching it. The fans, they might set a record for fans at a bowl game.
Yeah, Utah fans there.
Utah fan, you got all the West Coast Nebraska fans.
Does Nebraska play New Hampshire right before that? I think they do. I think they play a couple days before that.
Nebraska basketball?
Yeah,
probably.
They play New Hampshire right before that.
We'll check this.
I think people are. I legitimately think the tone around that game is Utah runs the ball really well. Nebraska can't stop the run. What is going to change in the bowl game?
They do. The day before, by the way, it's a Tuesday night affair at PBA, 8:00.
New Hampshire. It's all I can't build up New Hampshire. I can't build up New Hampshire.
They go,
but then Nebraska follows that up more exciting. January 2nd. They got Michigan State at home.
Yeah, boy, that's your third game out of the Big Ten play. Michigan State, 8:00 on a Friday night. That'd be all right.
Hey, they play uglier than a male wearing a wedding dress. I'll tell you that much. But they win.
Holy Dennis
They
Rodman.
Win. They win.
That was said by Justice Rhodey.
All your comments and concerns can be
not Nebraska. They play great basketball. Michigan State, they like to make things a little how do I
murky.
Put this? Yeah, they like to muck things up.
Like a little noodling.
Yeah, it's not pretty basketball, but it's very effective.
Speaking of not pretty basketball, let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll have Robin Wash with HuskerOnline.com.
You making fun of his basketball game? You ever played pickup with him? Speaking of ugly basketball, here comes Robin Wash.
Yeah, here comes Robin Wash. I got more to say when he comes.
About that team up north?
Yes, Robin Wash at HuskerOnline.com after the break. That's you've been holding on to that one.
Buddy's already going to the can. He heard murky and muck it up, and he's like, "Oh, that reminds me."
That reminds me. It's usually the stalls usually open about 9:23. It's my time.
He's like tapping his chest. He's waiting for the closer music to come on. It's me, baby.
It's me, baby.
That team.
So Lenardi has you as a 7 right now, huh?
They should be higher than that. They should be like a.
They're
5.
gonna get
they should
this
be like
team
a 5 or a 6 right now.
Yeah, but I think this team will build. I was talking to my kid last night about it. They're gonna build some street cred tomorrow night if they can get it done. There'll be some street cred.
I can't wait to talk about that game because Wisconsin is so similar to them.
Yeah.
Wisconsin's like a carbon copy of them. It's quite scary.
Hey, speaking of ugly, we're gonna have to get into Jalen Hurts' Monday Night Football performance.
It's right here. It's right at the
He's not beating the Drew Walls allegations.
Yeah,
he is not beating them. He is just an Instagram model in football pads.
He is my fantasy quarterback. He's getting benched next week. Jacoby Brissett kicking off my first round of my playoffs. That's who I'm rolling with.
Hey, it's your time to shine. We limped into the playoffs. My team did, but we've got a squad. Well, it's good. It's because Jefferson decided to put up 2, 4, and 8 in consecutive weeks.
Yeah.
That brother's getting benched. I don't care. We got standards to uphold.
I've also lost 2 straight going into the postseason, but I made
lost
the
like 8
postseason.
straight.
It don't matter. If you're in the postseason, you're in the postseason.
I'm 8-6. I have the lowest points scored of any team in the playoffs. We're gonna win though. It's either Jacoby Brissett against the Texans or Jalen Hurts in a game that probably matters more. That's basketball.
That's basketball.
Or Jalen Hurts against the Raiders. That's a tough start sit just because
you can't. You got to have him play against the Who was the other one? Who the quarterback?
Jacoby Brissett against the Texans.
No, you got to go Hurts.
Jacoby Brissett.
Brissett might not score a point.
He is yet to put up less than 20 fantasy points in a game this year.
Yeah, you might want to go pick up Phillip Rivers.
I mean, look at Brissett since he's come in.
Well, he's been good. That defense of Houston's so good.
I'll just re-ring Robin as we get into the segment because he didn't pick up.
Dang it, Robin!
I mean, the thing is the Cardinals are they got to air it out. They don't have a run game, so Brissett gets like 50 attempts a game.
All right, gentlemen, here we go.
Yeah, but the Rays are trash. Welcome back in the morning hookup again. Happy Tuesday. Good morning, everybody. Arlo, FloodX10, Todd, Greg, Justin, what's up? Arlo said, Hurts plays my Raiders. Just saying, might be wise to start him.
Yeah, I got to start. For everyone out there, we were talking during the commercial break. First round of the postseason, after what Jalen Hurts did last night, which we'll get into here in just a second. I got a big start-sit decision with Jalen Hurts taking on the Raiders to kick off my postseason run, or Jacoby Brissett, who has played really, really well, hasn't put up less than 20 fantasy points in a game this year, against the Texans, arguably
maybe playing. That's one of the best defense in the league right now.
Yeah, they're top 3, probably number 1. And I say it as a Broncos fan.
Justin has a legit question. We'll get to at some point as we move down. Will Nebraska have a running back at the bowl game? Or are we going to see Huck it and chuck it football? We don't even know who the quarterback
Your
is.
yeah, your backfield might be Jalen Gramstad
Yeah.
and Makai Nelson.
Yikes.
Ooh, Robin's
Ooh.
sending us to voicemail, it sounds like.
You go to voicemail. He might be. I don't know what he's got going on. Maybe there's some breaking news from Robin Washit. I don't know. He'll call back. I'll shoot him a text real quick. Now, I want to get your thoughts because you said you had some thoughts on the Who Jays. By the way, thanks for you guys for checking out Moats. Moats looked good yesterday in red.
He did.
He got a lot of good comments.
Should wear it more often.
He should.
Yeah, no, that team, there were some people, and I was kind of reading the room on some Creighton fans because I was interested. I mean, I wanted to see what's the mood, and they're like, oh, it'll be okay because next year we'll get a couple 5-stars in. Newsflash, that ain't gonna change it. You can get more talented. That team looked rudderless, and you know why?
Mm-hmm.
Where's the veteran leadership for Creighton? Where are the guys who have donned a blue jersey and have played a lot of basketball, meaningful basketball for Creighton? They don't have one. They literally. You're telling me next year that the guy who's going to lead the line for them is Owen Freeman? Yikes! Yikes!
I think that might be our man calling us
Might be
back.
our guy. I got questions for Washit. He's sweating a little bit. No opening question will be. It'll probably catch him off. Yeah, well, he knows it's coming probably. It's a dual question for our guy. Is that our guy?
Yeah, we got him.
Robin Washit, HuskerOnline.com. Washit, what's up, my friend?
What's up, guys? Sorry for the delay here.
That's okay. I was going to ask you, who is sweating more, you in fantasy football or Coach McDermott watching his guys trying to shoot it?
Well, at least I scored some points. Unfortunately, the guy I played just went absolutely bonkers. So that was not the case for the Blue Jays. They couldn't buy a bucket from start to finish. A lot of that had to do with Nebraska's defense, but they missed a lot of shots and looked all out of sorts from start to finish. So I'm guessing the sweat title goes to Mac on that one.
Yeah. Hey, talk about the performance of that, but what that means from an in-state perspective. And I know that we have Big Ten play coming up. We'll get to that, but what that means of like 3 of the last 4 years, 2 straight years now you've got them. Creighton has not led in 2 years against Nebraska, but what that means from an optics level just within the state.
Yeah, I mean, for Nebraska's resume, it's a nice piece. Creighton needs to get it figured out for that to carry much value. I think right now it's a quad 3 win because they're outside the top 100 and Nebraska won at home. So it doesn't do much from a resume standpoint. I guess maybe the most significance is if Creighton does figure it out and kind of becomes the team that they were projected to be, then all of a sudden that's going to be one of the marquee pieces of your non-conference resume. But if they don't, you still have now put yourself in kind of a clear path to go undefeated in non-conference play. And that is massive, especially when you consider just kind of the gauntlet ahead starting tomorrow night in Big Ten play, where the further above 500 you can get, the more cushion you have to, keep that resume presentable come March. So, by potentially going 11-0 in non-con, they've set themselves up to where that in itself is an impressive part of the resume. You got several quality wins, especially if Creighton can figure it out, Kansas State can figure it out. But if nothing else, you've put yourself at worst, assuming you do what you're supposed to do for the rest of non-con, at being 10 games over 500, something like that. So they're in a really good spot going into the new year. And if you can win tomorrow night, particularly, that will put you even further ahead of the sticks to start conference play with a win against a Wisconsin team that, they're a top 50 team in their own right, have playing pretty well right now. That win will continue to look better. And then just the momentum you get going into January would be huge. But so all that stuff is great, but kind of to your point of your question is for what this means. And I kind of wrote this in my post-game column, was that the narrative of the Nebraska Creighton series is starting to shift a little bit, where Nebraska's kind of swung the momentum back on their favor now. We're winning 3 of the last 4, including the last 2 in Omaha, beating Creighton by the most points they've beaten them by in almost 30 years. So that in itself is significant. And the fact that they're doing it with substantially less expensive roster than what Creighton is. I think it's a real tribute to the job Fred and his staff have done in building this program to where, they're not just trying to survive. Like, they went into that Creighton game expecting to win. And like hearing guys like Sam Hoiberg and even in the cinematic recap where, after shoot around, Fred said that we're the better team. We are better than them at every position. Like, when was the last time a Nebraska team was able to say that about Creighton? So I think that is, from a fan standpoint, probably the best part of all, is where Nebraska is kind of reasserting itself as, the team to beat in that series after about 2 decades of getting embarrassed by your in-state rival.
And the two things that stood out from that cinematic recap, Robin, I was just going to ask you about Fred, his message after shoot around saying we are the better team. We have better players at every single position. That's one thing that stood out. The other thing that stood out was the response from the team post-game in the locker room. It's not celebrations. It's not, we've done it. We beat Creighton back-to-back. It was a focused team. It was a team that looked ready to move on and get things ready to go against Wisconsin. Not to jump too far ahead here and to talk about Wisconsin, but what was your reaction to that? It just feels like a team that is focused, a team that is mature, a team that understands what it is, and a team that knows, hey, they're not winning a tournament game in December. And that's what this team knows their goal is for the season. They're trying to go make a run in the tournament, and you saw that focus post-game from that cinematic recap.
Yeah, and I think it just goes back to the recap, what guys were saying after the game and the post-game interviews and, all that, where, that was a game where Nebraska, it's for so long, they go into Creighton hoping to win. This one they expected to win, and they played like it. They played like the aggressor. They were the bully from start to finish. They dominated that game from the opening tip and did what they were supposed to do against a struggling Creighton team. And so I think that's kind of how they viewed it. While the fans, it was a massive celebration for Nebraska fans, the who's your daddy chants echoing through PBA, all that good stuff. Like, that's great. But, they know that this was a good win for them. It has a lot just internally for the program and for the fan base and for the state. But the reality is that the bigger one is coming up tomorrow night, where you're in league play now, and that will define your season. You can say all you want about what they've done to this point in non-com play. None of it matters because you're not punching a tournament ticket, like you said, in December. You're going to win it in the league. And if we look back at last year, why they didn't make the NCAA tournament, why they didn't even make their conference tournament, because they didn't defend home court. They lost so many games that they should have won at home that defined their season. And so that's been the message basically since, they did the final speech in the locker room after the game, was that you don't have time to celebrate. Like, you don't even have an extra day off to rest and feel good about yourself. They had to immediately get back to work yesterday. They're practicing it again today, and then boom, Wisconsin Big Ten opener at home is right there for you. So I think that's the mentality you have to have. Like, Nebraska is still, as good as they've started, not in anywhere close to a position to sit and feel good about itself. Like, they've done what they're supposed to do, what they hope to do to this point, and now it continues to get more and more real every game, where you have a big test tomorrow night and then an even bigger test a few days later in your first true road game against Illinois, one of the best teams in college basketball. So, how quickly they're able to kind of put success behind them, particularly one in a meaningful rivalry like Creighton, will ultimately, I think, kind of tell a lot about what this team is actually all about now that they're fully up against it now with the reality of Big Ten play.
Robin, talk to me about the veteran leadership on this team. It just seemed like in that game, Nebraska-Creighton, that Nebraska had the more seasoned, experienced roster, the more congealed roster from a chemistry standpoint, and Creighton didn't seem like they really had any leaders that had played a lot of basketball for the Creighton Blue Jays. Talk to me about the veteran leadership of this Nebraska squad and how you think that can help the mentality going into a big week against Wisconsin, then a really tough test against a really good team in Illinois.
Yeah, that's the kind of hallmark of this team right now, where they're not, more often than not, going to be the most talented team, but they can be the most connected team. And when they play connected and they have a team first mentality and everybody is being heroes in their role, that's when this team is at their best, and that's when they can compete with almost anybody on their schedule. So you saw that where, they didn't play great offensively, but they were elite on defense from start to finish. And that kept the game under control throughout. And so that's kind of the mentality where, you got guys like Sam Hoiberg and Cale Jacobson and, go down the list, Berke, who they don't care about how much they score. They don't care about their stats. They don't care about how many touches they get and all that stuff. They just want to win. And I thought it was pretty telling that was the number one thing Greg McDermott, when I asked him kind of what was different about this Nebraska team compared to the previous 6 Fred Hoiberg squads he's faced. He's like, well, there's a 100% a team first group where there's no individual, distractions and guys aren't looking for different things. And they're a completely connected group that's all about the same thing. And that can make up for so much from, talent discrepancies or whatever it is. When you have a bunch of veteran dudes who do what they're supposed to do every night and don't care about whether or not they shine, all they care about is the team winning. And I think that's kind of what this group is really embodying right now, where even your star player, Rink, they don't force it with Rink. It just kind of comes naturally. He didn't do anything in the first half. And then finally, within the flow of the system, got going and helped, slam the door shut in the second half. And so when your best player is embracing that mentality and your best leader, Sam Hoiberg, is kind of the poster boy of that mentality, that ripple effect there is undeniable. And that's what has gotten Nebraska to this start, to where, they're doing something that very few Nebraska teams have done ever. And if they continue to play like they have thus far, especially defend the way they did the other night, they're going to have a chance against pretty much everyone going forward.
We're speaking to Robin Washington, HustlerOnline.com. Washington, let's look at this big picture and optically the learnings and teachings. We talk about this team being a team first, but let's go back. I said this about a week ago or so, that you might go to a moment in time, when did this all change? When did Fred learn or continue to learn? Obviously, we had some NBA guys that came on board. We had some, and not saying whatever, but it was a different mentality. Maybe it was the staff that changed. But can you also go back and go, unfortunately, there were some injuries that put some guys in the lineup that ultimately got us to where we are. But we can go back to when Vandermill got hurt that season so far ago. Sam gets in the lineup. Gary gets hurt. Can you go back and talk about what you've seen, the evolution of where it be Fred, staff, and then maybe that was the moment in time where things changed, that the Nebraska Cornhuskers found an identity for their hoops team?
Yeah, I mean, ask Fred, and I've heard him tell the story about a billion times already, but that 22-23 team was when the switch flipped. And it started in that off season where, Fred mixed up his staff. He brought in Nate Lenzer and kind of took a more firsthand approach or hands-on approach with the roster construction. Before, he kind of left it all up to Matt Abdelmassi, and Matt got him good players, but there didn't seem to be much of any thought into how those individual pieces were going to, connect as a team. And just talked about how connected this group is. Well, they didn't have that because they had a bunch of guys that were just kind of mercenaries that were here to, basically use the Fred Hoiberg ladder to the NBA, and didn't really care much about whether they won or lost. And so it was a really, I don't want to say toxic, but extremely disconnected group for those first few years, where they didn't really know who they were, what they were going to be, and everybody was just kind of out for themselves. Well, that all changed in 22-23, where you got a bunch of team first dudes, where Derek Walker, Emmanuel Bandamel, Sam Griesel, and then, Sam Hoiberg. You talk about Bandamel's injury. You got Juwan Gary, a bunch of dudes that, were about the right things. And so it wasn't just about going and recruiting the best player. It was about equally important about getting the right people and the guys that were going to mesh together and play off of each other. And, it was kind of slow going for a little bit, but there's no doubt that off season and into the 22-23 campaign was when Fred kind of figured out what he wanted this to be. And, they've had some varying looks about kind of the style. I think they went all in on offense 2 years ago, made the tournament, and then got exposed defensively. They overcorrected, went way too heavy on defense last year. And now they went the complete 180 again to where they're back to going, shooting first and foremost. So I think that is kind of going to be an evolution. I think they found out what they want to be schematically. I think this type of roster is the ideal picture that Fred wants. And then the fact that they've been able to now over the past, 3 years, really build the culture. So it's not just about, the caliber of players and the system you're running, but it's the the cohesiveness and the chemistry in that locker room, on the practice floor, and especially when they face adversity. That's kind of what this process has all led to this point, where for the first time since Fred's been here, this is probably the closest of what his ideal vision of Nebraska basketball was when he took the job back in 2019.
Robin, when you look at what's ahead for this Husker basketball team, the Huskers have only been in the top 25 a couple times in my lifetime. And when they have been, it's only been in the top 25 for a cup of coffee, and then they're back out. What does it need to look like over the next couple games if Nebraska wants to be a team that can stick and stay in the top 25 as this season progresses?
I mean, pretty easy. You got to win. You go out and lay an egg against Wisconsin with everybody watching your Big Ten opener. Yeah, you're right back to where you started in 2018, where they spent, a couple weeks in the top 25 and never got any higher than 24th. So they're in that situation again. And now, again, this kind of season has been a gradual test after test of kind of the mettle of this group. And so far they've passed with flying colors. But now this is the most difficult challenge for them yet. Wisconsin's really good. And, this is Big Ten play where you really struggled to defend your home court all year last year. This is a game that you're probably going to be maybe slight favorites. And it's a massive opportunity for so many reasons. And so how is this group going to handle it? Especially now with a new dynamic coming off a massive rivalry win where you've spent the last however many days hearing about how awesome you were. The fan base is totally jacked up. You're in the top 25. Everybody's talking about you as like a 6th seed in the tournament. Like everybody's all in on Nebraska. How do you handle that? Are you really truly going back to business and taking the next game, one game at a time approach? And is the leadership, not just from the coaches, but the players, going to be strong enough to get guys locked in the way that they were locked in going into Creighton? We'll see. If they are, then yeah, Nebraska's, they're going to have a great chance to win tomorrow night. And, for a lot of games remaining on their schedule. But again, it's all about how they handle all these new experiences where you're not the underdog anymore. You're the ranked team. You are ranked ahead of Wisconsin. They will be an upset if you lose at home, where before it was like, oh, wow, Nebraska shocked everybody and beat Wisconsin at home. So the tables have turned, and, we're going to learn a lot about this group and how they handle success, how they handle expectations, especially now against their stiffest challenge yet in Big Ten play.
Robin, really quick before we get you out, talk to me about X's and O's in this game. Wisconsin is 12th in the country in three-point rate. They jack up 51 a game. When you talk about it, they don't shoot a super high percentage, but very similar team compared to Nebraska. Transfer lead guard, guy who stayed in the program, who's a really good player, and then they brought in a couple of bigs who are pretty versatile. When you look at this game, does it just come down to if Nebraska gives Wisconsin open shots, if Wisconsin hits them, they win. If they miss them, they lose?
I'd probably put it on Nebraska too, where if they're going shot for shot, I probably like Nebraska's chances just because, you have the home court edge. That's significant, especially when PBA's rolling. But then also, I think Nebraska's a better defensive team, especially when they defend like they did last time. So, if you're challenging all those shots that Wisconsin's shooting the way that they challenged Creighton's threes, you're going to hopefully be in a good spot there. So there's more to it. It starts with stopping John Blackwell. He's a potential All-American right now. He's the engine that makes it go for Wisconsin. They have the Winters kid in the middle who's probably as skilled of a big as Nebraska's faced this season. So, but I think Rink and Berke can handle him. It's just a matter of, defensively, if you're going to crash like you have every single game this year on the baseline, those closeouts have to be exceptional. They were really good against Creighton. They have to be that good, if not better, against Wisconsin, because I think Wisconsin has just better overall shooters, and the volume in which they shoot, the pace in which they want to play with. They're gonna apply pressure to Nebraska defensively, and how Nebraska answers that call on that end of the floor will be as defining as anything. But like always, when Nebraska comes out and they hit their first couple threes and get the crowd behind them, they got a significant advantage against anybody they play. So like always, start fast, hit your 3-pointers, and defend the three. That's the formula against most teams they play, and especially so against Wisconsin.
Well, Washington will get you out of here, but I assume now with where football is going to go that you're just going to start leaving a suitcase in Vegas, right? Like that's just where you're going to be at for a long time.
Yeah, I don't know. I know some people probably like going down there, but like I'm just like, come on, like anywhere else. I spent a week there for the Crown. I spent 3 days there for media days, and now I'm going back for another week for the bowl game. And it's like it's fine and all, but like, you know,
yeah, but you're undefeated.
That's true. I've never covered a loss in Las Vegas. So here's the other fun fact that I just got put on my radar yesterday. We get there on the 26th, and the Giants play the Raiders in Vegas that weekend.
Oh, yes.
And I told myself, I said, I'm not paying like anything over $100 to go to that game. Like I'm not going to let the Giants steal any more of my money or a time. But if the stars align and I can get a cheap ticket, I'm going to go check it out. Just because I haven't seen them play in a long time, and maybe that's the reason. Maybe the fact that I'm not there is why we've struggled so much. Maybe I'm the missing link to get this thing going. So I want them to lose because we're the number 1 pick right now. But you know what? If I'm paying money to go watch them play, they better win.
Something tells me that Raiders and Giants won't be the most expensive ticket out there in the NFL that weekend.
No. Right now it's like 133. I saw for decent tickets. Like I said, I think there's a good shot that drops below 100. And if that's the case, and like we're done with all of our like practice coverage, all that, I really don't have any reason not to go. So you know what? I'll do it.
Well, you'll probably need to double the budget just to drink and eat in the place. So
is it I've never been to a game.
I've never been there either. It just feels like total Vegas that it would be expensive to drink inside.
You can't go anywhere without spending $100 in Las Vegas. So I assume that it's the ticket's one thing, but you got to add basically triple that for your food and drink.
It's like
$100 on red should cover that game and all the fees.
Done.
Yeah, the great thing is that's a place where you can pay for everything really quickly, or you can lose everything very quickly. So just a matter on how the weekend goes, huh?
All right, Robin, appreciate you, brother, man. We'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good. See you later.
Robin Wash at HuskerOnline.com. Let's take a break, come back, wrap up hour number 1.
All right.
Yeah, Washington's undefeated in Vegas.
Kent Pavelka responded to my Sydney Sweeney tweet. Thanks, Kent.
That was funny, by the way.
Did he think it was funny?
He just gave me the gif of a cricket chirping.
Oh, I thought it was hello.
How are you doing today?
Bang! Oh, bang! That phrase takes on a different level.
Whenever Rink hits his next 3, I want to hear Kent Pavelka say, "Are you watching, Sydney?
Are you watching?" Oh, you just threw that in his arsenal.
Yeah. We'll see. If we get
I needed to pull out something outrageous. Oh my goodness, Sammy, my boy, he took a crook and put him in a book. I need to just say something outrageous.
I loved in the cinematic recap we had KP Cam. That was fun.
Puts it up and in.
Incredible. What do we have left when we come back? What do we got left?
Like what?
The 2:30?
3?
Nah, we'll just preview. Then we'll go into Monday Night Football at the top of the hour. How about that?
Final thoughts. Redunk on Creighton. Robin interrupted me. I never got to finish.
I'm gonna bring this.
Never got to finish.
Did I interrupt you?
No, Robin did.
I haven't watched it.
Robin calling. Which, valid. Had to get him in.
It's a must. Oh my nose.
I didn't get to ask him about the 4-star they had in town. Frick. So I wanted to ask him about Wisconsin.
Yeah, you gotta
It's a very un-Wisconsin team. They jack up a ton of threes.
50 is crazy to me.
Their 3-point rate's 51.2.
They're
12th in the country. They jack them up.
You think?
They shot 40 against Providence. They hit 14. It was like Creighton against Nebraska circa 2 years ago. Because Creighton jacked up 43s in that game, and they hit 14. Everybody's like, well, they shot the cover off the ball. Now they just shot the ball.
The number, I kept laughing. The number of shots that were going off the side of the backboard were just making me, it's mesmerizing.
Did you see how quickly Greg yanked Fedor after
because
that?
It was like Paul George in the bubble.
Because one view I have of where my seats are, you can see the view of that our seats are pretty much on like the free throw line across from the Husker bench, but you can see it, the angle which they shoot at, and it's like, is the wind blowing in here? Somebody turn the fan off. It's bending like.
That's why
funny.
I do not shoot corner threes. Corner threes is not my game. The backboard scares me off, and I miss.
Can you explain what your game is?
Imagine if you will.
I don't have a game, so I just need to know what other people's game are.
Burke. My game is Burke.
But like 6 inches shorter.
Yeah, like I'd like to be a ball handler. I'd like to be a shooter. It's not really me. I do move my feet well. I fight hard on the glass.
I thought it was more like.
And if I knock down a couple of threes, it's going to get real dangerous for you because I'm streaky like that. If I watch the first 3 go down, trust me, I am going to keep on shooting.
He's jacking up the next 6.
And I'll probably go 4 for 6 on him. But if I miss the first one, I am one of those guys that's prone to go 0 for 8.
Which I think if you go 0 for 3, you should stop. Is that the number you got to stop at? You missed the first 3, just stop.
Me?
No, not
you.
you.
I'm jacking up 15.
I know
care
that.
If I'm or missing.
But you're a hooper.
I'd rather go 0 for 40 than 0 for 3. So if I go 0 for 3, it means I stop shooting.
Like I know enough about enough, but when you get the ball and there's like guys sagging 10 feet off of you, there's a reason.
Well, there are guys who open up the game sagging 10 feet off. I'm like, you're an idiot. And then Then you hit 2 in their face, and they're like, oh, I might have to get up.
And then it's the
that's a KYP moment. Know your personnel. That's why you got to adhere to the scouting report, which Jason Green did a terrible job of. Holy Lord, how does Rink Mass have that much space on the catch? Yeah. Greg McDermott literally talked about it all week. We're going to pressure the ball. We're going to pressure Rink Mass. We're going to make life tough for him. Rink Mass opens the game. Opens the second half with 5 feet of space. No. What are you doing?
It's fine. How nervous are we about this Wisconsin game?
Like kinda because like they're kind of good, but like not because like I feel like Nebraska's like competent defensively.
I'd feel completely differently about this game if it was in Wisconsin. But in Lincoln, I think the crowd's gonna be pretty juiced for this one still.
8 o'clock.
Now Illinois, I've got that one chalked up as a loss already.
I know we're coming. Are we coming back?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not. We'll bring it up. Let's talk about it.
Let's do it.
Welcome back in the morning hookup. Special thanks to Robin Watts, HuskerOnline.com. Hey, real quick, during the stream, we were just talking about the Wisconsin-Nebraska game tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, Pinnacle Bank Arena. Big-time crowd I expect for the Big Ten opener. The question was, is it scare level or fear level? I think the fear for me in this type of game is expectations are growing for this basketball team. Robin mentioned that you beat an in-state opponent for the second time. You're now ranked. There's a lot of momentum. We're going to be favored. Like everything that is not typical against Wisconsin or most Big Ten matchups are happening tomorrow night. That's the level. And I think Nebraska fans, expectations are growing. And that pressure sometimes, again, now is this team different? You talked about it a little bit. Is it different? Do they care? It's like a, turn the page mentality? Maybe.
Well, I think this is also a game that like neutral fans, just college basketball fans in general, will tune in for. Because it's Minnesota v. Purdue to lead you in on BTN, and that's an all right game. But then you see it's Wisconsin at Nebraska might be the college basketball game of the night tomorrow night.
That's a good point.
For a neutral fan that's got BTN, I could see some college basketball fans tune in and be like, oh, this Husker basketball team, they just kicked the crap out of Creighton. They're a top 25 team. Let's see what they're all about.
No, if they go out and shoot the cover off the ball, they'll be worth watching. I mean, because Nebraska's due for like a good shooting game. I mean, they shot 38%. They shot pretty decent against Creighton, but they're due for one of those games where you're like, holy Lord, can they miss?
I mean, they're only one of 3 top 25 teams. You like that ring? One of 3 top 25 teams that are playing tomorrow night. So you're right. It could be because you'll get that Houston plays Jackson State. Purdue is at home against Minnesota, who they're going to get a spanking after Purdue took one in the chin. And then Nebraska, that 8 o'clock start. You're probably right. The viewership is going to be there.
Well, and tonight's Michigan, Villanova, Illinois, Ohio State, Penn State, Indiana. Like,
how about your nightcap tonight at 8 o'clock? Florida, UConn.
Pretty good.
It's a good slate. Speaking of not pretty good, Monday Night Football. That was bad.
Atrocious.
So we'll talk about that, Brian Munson, and a whole lot more when we return.
It's the holidays, and Lincoln is positively abuzz about Jet Splash once again.
Have they started washing sleighs, Reginald?
Haha, not quite, but they are offering sleigh loads of savings on car wash bundles and memberships. It's their jaw-dropping holiday sale.
Wow.
Annual plans are up to $100 off, making it the perfect time to upgrade. And Jet Splash's 9th location on 27th and Vine is now open.
Does it wash sleighs?
Shop local or online at jetsplash.com.
Well, does it?
Chris and Carol with KFOR Morning News. The holidays are a time to create and celebrate lasting memories.
But for families with financial challenges, it can be a time of stress and anxiety.
Thanks to your generosity, for over 75 years, Operation Santa Claus has provided children in need with a toy of their choice on Christmas morning.
Light up a child's face by donating to Operation Santa Claus online at KFORnow.com or reach out to us at 3800 Cornhusker Highway 68504.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/radio to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/radio for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com.
Lincoln's local news, talk, sports, and weather station. FM 101.5, 1240 AM, KFOR, and KFRX HD3. Lincoln.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. President Trump will be traveling to Pennsylvania today, where he will deliver a speech on the economy. The event this evening coming as prices remain stubbornly high. The president doesn't see it that way. In an interview with Politico, he said,
prices are coming down. Just to talk about affordability. The Democrats love to say affordability, but then they never talk about it. They're the ones that gave us the high prices.
The Consumer Price Index clocks inflation at close to 3%, above the Fed's 2% level for lowering interest rates. There is a Federal Reserve Board meeting today and tomorrow at which most economists widely expect rates to be cut. More calls to release the full video of the double strike on a suspected drug boat in the Caribbean. The first strike on the boat, the second taking out those who survived. The president was asked about that today, too.
Have you watched the video?
Stopping. I watched everything. Yeah, I watch everything. I see a lot of things.
And do you believe that that second strike was necessary?
Well, it looked like they were trying to turn back over the boat, but I don't get involved in that. That's up to them.
Here's ABC's Rachel Scott.
Lawmakers are trying to force the Pentagon's hand to release that video by including it in the annual must-pass defense spending bill. And later today, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, they're going to be on Capitol Hill to brief the Gang of Eight. These are the top Democrats and Republicans in Congress behind closed doors.
The pre-trial hearing for suspected CEO killer Luigi Mangione continues today. His lawyers are trying to block some of the evidence found in Mangione's backpack when he was arrested in Altoona, Pennsylvania last year. Prosecutors described notes found in the backpack as escape routes. On the flip side of one page, a reminder to change hat, shoes, and pluck eyebrows. The manager of that Pennsylvania McDonald's where Luigi was arrested said customers recognized the young man by his distinctive eyebrows. Dow's up 111 points. You're listening to ABC News.
Between all the holiday parties,
Weekend tailgates,
and family get-togethers. Oh, they're here. Hey, who needs something to drink?
we've been overindulging a little more than usual. Thank goodness we both added active liver to our diets to give our livers some much-needed support so we have the energy we need to enjoy the holidays.
Active Liver from New Nordic contains a powerful blend of turmeric, milk thistle, and globe artichoke extract designed to give your liver maximum protection and help it do vital jobs like removing toxins from alcohol, rich foods, and sweets.
Try Active Liver today and enjoy all the holiday treats with the peace of mind of knowing you're giving your liver some relief.
Find Active Liver online at Amazon, Vitacost.com, or iHerb.com. Or pick it up today at CVS, Meijer Grocery, or ShopRite. Enjoy life to the fullest with Active Liver.
A garage fire in Northeast Lincoln. Good morning. I'm Jeff Moat. Sunshine, 37 degrees at KFOR. It took Lincoln firefighters 20 minutes this morning to get control of the fire inside a detached garage off of 72nd and Platte. LFR Battalion Chief Jeremy Gagg told KFOR News at the scene what crews found inside the garage.
It appears that there's a lot of construction materials, but other than that, there's just a lot of just normal items that you would find in a garage.
Gagg says no renovations were being done. Nobody was hurt in the fire. Damage estimates and the cause of the fire are still under investigation. 2 teens have been arrested while trying to sell between $12,000 to just over $13,000 worth of stolen jewelry at Riddles in Gateway Mall last Friday. Court documents say 18-year-old Ariana Malloy brought the suspected stolen jewelry to sell. An employee said Malloy and a 15-year-old came into the store asking if the store bought diamonds and gold. Those court records also say the 2 teens showed a ring and a necklace, and when asked by the employee where the jewelry came from, the teens apparently said from a relative. Court documents also say as the employee was preparing a quote, they were told by a separate person that the jewelry could be stolen, so the employee declined to purchase the jewels from the 2 teens. Ultimately, those teens were found later on by Lincoln Police inside Gateway Mall. Both were questioned about the relative's information, and they initially refused to give it. LPD contacted the relative and said the jewelry was missing and was last seen on November 28th. Malloy was arrested and put in jail for theft. The 15-year-old was taken to the Youth Service Center. Waverly business owner Matt Warner on Monday announced his bid to seek election to the District 5 seat on the Lancaster County Board of Commissioners for next year's election cycle. KFOR News talked to Warner about why he chose to run.
I thought there was an area there I could just give back to my community. So that's the biggest reason. I just want to help give back.
Warner owns Empire Netting and Fence, a nationally recognized leader in sports netting and fencing. District 5 is made of Northeast Lincoln, Northeast Lancaster County, including Waverly and Davie. Sunny today and a high of 56. I'm Jeff Moats, KFOR News.
You fix the house. You maintain the car. You manage the money. But when do you tune up the person doing all the work? Are you on top of your game? Do you have low energy, brain fog, no drive? It might be low T. At Limitless Mail, we help you get your strength and focus back. Because when you feel good, everything else is easier. Get your T levels checked at Limitless Mail. Schedule your free consult today.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
This is the Morning Hookup on KFOR.
Welcome back in the Morning Hookup, hour number 2. Happy Tuesday. Late night tomorrow night, boy. No Nebraska, Wisconsin, 8 o'clock.
I'm going to be playing an intramural championship game before that.
And then you'll make your way down?
Yeah. Well, the thing is if the other team beats us, they have to beat us twice to win it.
Can you just get it done?
Well, yeah.
And get to PBA.
Well, we've got a squad. That's our plan.
They're going to need the president of whatever club there. That's you.
Oh, listen, we're going to roll up with our guys. We're going to be rolling deep. I mean, we're going to show up in full drove, and then I'm going to tell
deodorant.
Of course, you got to do that.
That's all. They got showers at the rec.
Yeah, it's a non-negotiable. There are human hygiene standards here. We can't just show up smelling like booty cheeks. We got to make sure that we are to the nines now. But we will be showing up in full drove, and then Greg Gard will be hearing it about how he needs to get his suits tailored to his figure.
I almost said something about
that. That's
jacket yesterday, but
that's what you got in the can here?
No, I've got way worse.
Okay.
Save it.
How Andrew Rohde has an inferior spelling of his last name.
This is going to go well tomorrow. I think I might have to just buy new seats and get closer to Justice tomorrow.
It's going to be quite funny. There's some great troops that come out of that student section that nobody hears.
Yeah.
Could you get Bill into the student section for a game?
He's young enough.
Young at heart.
You were about to go somewhere with that, weren't you? I see what you're doing.
No, it depends on who the security guard is. I mean, if we got somebody who thinks they're the second coming of Paul Blart, we might have a problem. If we got somebody who doesn't care and be double cupping a beer with me, then, yeah, we might be able to get hooks in.
That's it. Be like an RA walking into.
What do we got going on here?
What's the RA doing in here?
Apparently, we can't make jokes about like people's hairlines anymore, which I think is stupid. That's the funniest.
Why
joke
is that one?
I don't know. They're like mad at that one, but you can call somebody, anything 3 ways from Sunday, and you can get away with it. I don't know. It's weird because I was going to ask him, do they have barbers in Wisconsin? Because frankly, some of those guys do need a haircut.
Wow. Well, I don't know what. Last night, Monday Night Football was as bad as I've ever seen in a game. The turnovers, the mockery of the game.
Have you ever seen a guy throw an interception and fumble on the same play?
No.
Didn't
they say that's first time since what they can't even remember.
That's pretty funny.
The time. I mean, even Ryan 840 says epic Monday Night Football. Hurts becoming the first player in my lifetime with 2 turnovers on the same play.
I ain't never seen a guy lose 4 fantasy points on one play. That was brutal.
5 turnovers.
Five total.
4 picks and a fumble on that play. I don't know. They're bad. That was bad last night. I don't know if that was a Chargers winning game or Eagles losing. It was both of everything, and it had a lot of yuckness into it. I will say this, that I know the non-Chiefs fans were going, all right, now your pat's a little harder, Chiefs fans.
Oh, they're over. It's done.
Dude, they're cooked.
It's done. It's done, man.
There's a team in their division that's 11-2 and is like leading the AFC in like playoff standings.
Yeah, it's done for the Chiefs. The run's been good. Travis Kelce,
send him off to retire.
Father Time has caught up with him in Taylor Swift. It's done.
It's time to settle down, Travis.
That picture is really starting to clear up in the AFC when you look at it. With the Broncos leading the way in that division, you've got
the Chiefs' playoff odds, by the way, have now dropped to 12% after last night. 12.
Let's take a look at the Bears' current playoff
on
percentage.
This side it says 6.
You're seeing 6
over
there?
I'm seeing CBS Sports. They have their percentage of winning the 25 projections. They update them with their division chances and their playoff postseason chances, 0 at the division and 6% left.
Let's take a look at the Bears. Oh, the Bears dropped to a 65% playoff percent. How sad. How sad. Cry me a fake tear.
Wow.
They deserve it.
Wow.
What is Caleb doing on that last play? Roll out. Oh, hey, I see a green jersey. Whoop. Just start right to it, guys.
Because the Chiefs, they need to win out, and then they need
help.
They need one of the wild card teams, probably the Texans, to lose out.
Yeah, they got an 11% chance right now. That ain't happening, Chief. Them and the Cowboys, ride them off. Cowboys, it was fun. Cowboys could win out.
They still have a chance. The Eagles keep letting things hang around.
Well, the Eagles need to figure some things out.
The Eagles dropped to 8-5. Cowboys are still 2 games in the win column, back 1 in the loss at 6-6. They've given right now they got Dallas at about a 12% chance to have a chance to even sniff the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't want to listen. Between the Big Ten championship game and the Chargers Eagles, we're setting football back about 400 years. The game wasn't even invented at that point. Like, I would have rather watched Princeton Rutgers circa 1869 and see whatever that was last night. That was abysmal.
Speaking of throwing it back, the Colts seem like they're trying to throw it back just a little bit with their situation. Unfortunately, Daniel Jones, the Achilles injury, which is a terrible spot, by the way, not only just for the Colts, but for him. When they look at the month of December that he got, that means pretty much you don't see him at all next year.
Their playoff odds have dropped to 20%.
20%. Now they are working. Now Riley Leonard apparently has got some injury stuff going on too. They have worked out 44-year-old Phillip Rivers.
Would he be the first grandfather in the NFL?
Has to be.
He has a grandkid.
Did you know that
he has a grandkid?
I heard this stat that one of his kids, maybe his oldest kid, is older than Riley Leonard.
Yes. And his oldest kid has another kid. He is a grandpa. and he has a chance to play in an NFL game. That's ridiculous. That is crazy. Like, we need to appreciate how insane that is. That we have a guy that has grandkid. Sorry, I almost said it's kids. A grandkid.
One grandkid.
And might be playing in the National Football League.
There was one before him.
Really? Who?
Brett Favre was an officially documented grandfather in 2010. He was the first ever NFL player to be a confirmed grandfather while playing the game of professional football.
It's still amazing.
I'm shocked there's been one. But if there's anyone, it was either going to be Brett Favre or like Terry Bradshaw.
Or George Blanda? George Blanda, he played until he was 46. Come on now.
But he looked 46 from the age he was like 30. So,
David, he played 22 years in the NFL. I mean, he gave his life and limb for the badge.
Justin chimes in here to say, but Phillip Rivers might not be able to play this weekend due to the birth of his 22nd child.
Hey, Phillip Rivers loves his wife, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with supporting healthy marriages.
And if you got the money to support that many kids, good for you.
Well, that's why he's got to go play again, because he's run out of funds. Bank account's drying up.
They have made one change to the NFL slate coming up. The Patriots December 21st road game against that's coming up way down, but the Patriots and the Ravens have been flexing a Sunday night spot. We've documented how bad the primetime spots are this week. There's some changes being made. They're getting the Dolphins and the Bengals out of there, going to a 1 o'clock slot. But that playoff thing is it's starting to take a little bit of different picture right now with that win last night by the Chargers. And that one, it was just an ugly, ugly thing. You have to go back and just go and say, oh, boy, the Eagles are broke. They're just broke right now. Some of the passes last night, they've lost the identity on offense. Their defense is pretty stinking good, but they've just lost some of that identity on that side. And it's all starts. And again, unfortunately, you get pointed at one. You have to take the finger and look at one guy. It's always the quarterback. Quarterback is what presents problems or the challenges.
I don't understand how they're using him.
Different from last year.
Because what makes Jalen Hurts special and different from everyone else in the league?
Those legs.
Last night, 4 carries. The week before, 4 carries. He has had greater than 10 carries in 2 games this season. The first game of the season against Dallas, and then against Detroit, he had 10 carries.
Kevin Patullo ain't it, bro.
Like,
he is not it.
In the Eagles' rationale, which they've kind of, if you read in between the lines, it's, well, we want him to be playing the same in January like he is at the beginning of the year. Okay, that wasn't a problem last year. You were running him plenty last year, and what happens? You go and win a Super Bowl. And now you're load managing his. You need to make the playoffs first.
Well, because they can't get anything with Saquon on the ground.
And it's causing a ton of turnover issues. I believe there are 3 straight losses. It's been 2+ turnovers in every single game in the last 3.
If they were in any other division in the NFC, they'd be lucky to make it into the postseason. Luckily, their division's kind of crap, so they're going to make the postseason. But man, you're managing his load like this. Like you're taking away what makes your offense special and different. Jalen Hurts is not a pocket passer.
No, he's not.
They've been persuaded by the public perception of having to throw the football a ton.
And I was going to go insane last night. At the end of the second quarter, they have the ball at the 2-yard line. They come out in shotgun on back-to-back plays. First time it's Saquon getting stuffed, and there's a holding call on what would have been a touchdown pass. Hey, I know fans in the league are angry. You have it 1st and goal at the 2.
Tush push.
3 straight tush pushes, you will score a touchdown. Why are you going shotgun and handing it to Saquon? Why are you going shotgun empty and having Jalen Hurts run for his life before trying to find someone in the end zone?
They actually got peer pressured out of it.
Tush push. I know the tush push has been slightly less successful for them this year, but they're still converting like a 70% rate.
The Eagles the rest of the way out, by the way, don't have the toughest slate on the books. When you look at it, they will this Sunday coming up. They'll have the Raiders, and then they get the Commanders twice, sandwich in there the Bills.
That's pretty easy into the schedule.
Raiders, Commanders, Buffalo. 2 of those are on the road, 2 at home, and you'll end your season.
Take a monumental collapse here for the Eagles to not win their division. They got a 92% chance right now, so they can kind of take their foot off the gas a little bit, and they'll still be okay. Lucky for them, the Commanders and Giants are just awful. And the Cowboys, after a bit of a hot streak, seem to have returned back to earth. Cowboys now have an 11% chance to make the postseason.
Well, and that's due to they
could still win out.
Again, they could win out if you look at their slate. Theirs is probably easier on paper. I don't know, but we'll see what you think. When you see what I got, they got the Raiders, Commanders twice, and the Bills. The Cowboys on the way out, Minnesota, Chargers. Then they end the season at Washington, at New York.
So they 3-1 is possible for them, which would get them to 9-7-1.
They could.
I think
out.
that's a 4-0. That could be 4-0 for them. And then if they go 3-1, it's still improbable that they get to there. They'll need some help for some other teams, maybe in the wild card side.
And as you look at the NFC side of things, there's really one wild card spot up for grabs. Because the Rams, Seahawks, and 49ers all have a greater than 95% chance of making the postseason. It's probably going to be those three teams all
spot.
in. The Packers, with that win over the Bears, have a really good shot at winning the division. So it comes down to probably the Bears, Panthers, and Cowboys for that last wild card spot, unless the Cowboys can overtake the Eagles.
Well, but here's the thing: the Packers have a brutal end of the season. They have, I think they got one more. So they got the Broncos, and then they've got the Ravens, and then there's a game against the Vikings sandwich in there. Then
late, that's their last game. They go,
and then the Bears.
Yep.
So it's Broncos, Ravens, Bears,
Broncos, Bears. Ravens, Minnesota.
Yeah, it's still a brutal end of the season.
But I think at that point, you'll be asking yourself, their next two are tough. Depending on where the Ravens are on that Saturday, December 27th, where the Ravens are and what their mentality is going to be with 2 to play.
Because, I mean, you would like your end of the season with the Vikings sandwiched in there, and then, having them to bookend your season, then also maybe getting a down Ravens team. That might be a decent end. But, the Bears could realistically come back and take a swing at this division if they want to. It's going to be at Soldier Field. So, I mean, that's the thing. Could we have a little bias talk here, Elijah? Why is Green Bay and Denver not Sunday Night Football?
Oh, we had this chat yesterday.
Why is it not? I mean,
why is it not Monday Night Football?
Why is it not in a big
They
primetime slot?
completely missed the flex on this one. It is a bad.
Or what about even if that, I would settle it if it was Lions Rams in prime time. I could take my I could take my lump of
Do you
gold
see
there.
what you get this week?
Well, Thursday Night Football is actually kind of fun.
Falcons, Buccaneers. Might not move the middle. We'll check hoops that night. We'll see what's going on. But then you go Vikings, Cowboys on Sunday night, and Dolphins, Steelers on Monday night.
Lord,
that's your slate of exciting football.
This is the time in the season where you're supposed to be flexing games, NFL.
And they have not done a.
I mean, you got an 11-2 Denver team who's playing great football against a 9-3-1 Packers team that's in control of their division right now. I mean, come on. That's the biggest interconference matchup probably on the slate. I don't know what we're doing. That's terrible.
There hasn't been a game flexed out of primetime yet this season, has there? From what we've seen so far?
Not what we've seen. I have not.
And there's been some rough matchups. There's been some games I have not wanted to watch in primetime.
Yeah.
And there's been no flexing yet. This felt like the most obvious week ever to flex some matchups.
Chiefs-Texans, that was I was okay with that. That was a pretty good matchup.
I thought it could have been a better Sunday noon game, but I'm not mad about it. Last night, good Monday Night Football game. This weekend.
You look at these, they're awful.
It's find something to do. Hey, maybe put the Christmas decorations up if you have it on Sunday night.
Mm-hmm.
This is a find something to do Sunday night.
Go out to dinner, make some food, whatever.
Yeah, why would I want to watch the Vikings?
Watch a movie,
Cowboys, bro.
Watch a movie. I saw a movie yesterday.
What'd you see?
Where I went to the movie theater as well. My boys were off school yesterday and they wanted to go watch a movie. It was called Now You See Me, Now You Don't.
Oh, it's the Now You See Me franchise. That's the third installment.
Is it the third one? It was cool. Woody Harrelson was in it.
Yeah, I want to go see it.
I dug it, by the way. We were the only 3 in the theater, obviously, because it was a Monday afternoon. They were off school, but it was cool. I liked it.
I liked if you guys haven't Running Man with Glenn Powell. I went and saw that. In
I went and saw it. It was solid.
It was solid. It kept me entertained. Was it the best movie I've seen this year? Not by any means.
And that's this one. It was not the best thing, but it was super entertaining, and it was the sleight of hand stuff.
Hey, I love a good like acclaimed movie, but as long as a movie just transports me somewhere else for 2 hours and I'm locked in, I can enjoy it.
It was a pretty solid plot.
That's what I'll say about.
I know it's a remake of an 80s. They did the 80s adaptation.
It was an old Schwarzenegger movie.
Yeah.
Well, because it was originally a Stephen King novel.
The Running Man.
The Schwarzenegger, not great. The Glenn Powell version, pretty good. They did kind of change up the ending from the original to make it a little bit happier, but
they did.
But good movie. with my boys yesterday. Went and saw it. So
I love going to the movie theater. I know it's going away. Netflix says no one wants to go watch movies in the theater anymore.
I disagree.
There's a pageantry. There's a pageantry too.
I hate the price of going to go see a movie. I love the experience.
That's why you go on Tuesdays, baby. $5 movie Tuesday.
Boom. Do they still have the $5 student Thursdays downtown?
I do not know.
They used to have, if you showed a valid student ID, you used to be able to get $5 on Thursdays as well.
Something that would intrigue you guys, and we'll go to break and we'll get Brian Munson. My wife, I don't know, it's one or whatever times a month. They have a Mystery Mondays, and I believe they give you the genre topic, and that's it. And you just show up and watch it.
One of the things they've been
So
doing,
that she loves doing that with her friends, and some of them are like, some of them are like, ah.
Oh, so it's like Mystery Science
You
Theater
don't even know.
3000,
You
but
don't
it's like
even know.
better movies.
Yeah, they give you like action.
I really like
2.5 out, whatever, and then you walk in, and then you find out what it is when it comes on.
I love that. That's fun.
Mystery movie
that's
Mondays.
They've been finding good because they've also been bringing a whole bunch of old movies back to theaters and
I
giving
love
them
that.
limited release. I know Elf was showing this weekend to get people in the mood for the Christmas season. The best movie experience I had was last summer. They had Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, or they had all of the Lord of the Rings extended editions in theater, but I went and saw Lord of the Rings, Return of the King extended edition in theater. That was a religious experience. That was one of the best, if not the best movie experience I've ever had. 4 hours well spent on a Sunday afternoon.
There you go.
I mean, I went and saw the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 movie, and they actually tried to turn it into a horror movie, which, what are you doing? It's Five Nights at Freddy's. Make it funny like the first movie. That was the whole point of it. It's supposed to be like a
it looks scary.
Yeah, no, it was supposed to be like a Scream spoof movie, and they're trying to make it now a horror, like legit horror thing. I'm like, that's not Five Nights at Freddy's.
No.
You're ruining the movie.
It's a video game.
My boys
Exactly.
my boys are talking about going. I'm like, eh.
Just tell them save their money and wait till it gets out for streaming.
You're like coming up. The next one, by the way, just if you're, it's a 7 o'clock on the 15th. It just says Mystery Movie Monday. That's all it says, and it says PG-13 runtime 2 hours. Genre is a secret.
Love that.
PG-13.
So that's what you got.
That
that's
could be
what
a
they give
wide range of things.
Well, that's what they give you, and that you run the risk of doing it.
You know,
and it's $6, by the way.
If I had to guess,
yeah.
Take a guess. Take a swing at it.
Oh, let's see here.
2 hours, PG-13 genre is a secret 6 hour market. It's mystery movie.
You'd think they would go some sort of Christmas movie, right?
I don't know.
But it's PG-13. When did
it's a mystery?
When did PG-13 start? 1984.
Can't believe we're doing this.
You look that up.
I'm going to try.
He's going to look that up.
We can go to break.
We're going to get you the movie stuff coming up, but we're going to take a break. Come back with Brian Munson, HuskerOnline.com.
My guess was going to be Die Hard, but Die Hard's 2 hours and 12 minutes.
Yep.
It's a little long.
So some for you boys, if you ever want to do it, it's money. I don't think it's every. I don't know the thing, but she goes on Mondays. I'm pretty sure it's on my calendar.
I'm not gonna lie, that might be worth doing. Wait, when is it?
$6 Monday, the 15th.
Die Hard's also rated R. So
That'd be right. That would actually be. Wait, is it just any time on Monday?
No, it's 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
That's
actually
one showing.
That would actually be right after my exam. That's kind of perfect.
It's a 6 o'clock, and I don't know. I think it's at all of them. I think.
You know how awesome it would be if they just rolled out 12 Angry Men.
Ooh, that's a good movie.
They just rolled out 12 Angry Men. They just put a banger in theaters again. You know how awesome that would be? I would flip out of my seat. That's the type of night you spend the arm and the leg and let them shoot a hole in your wallet to get the popcorn to drink, and then
they typically, my wife typically, because she has a group of like 2 or 3 of them, three total.
All the gal friends, all the gal pals.
Well, they all have the again, no free plot. We're on the stream, but they go to Chicago, right? And that's what they do. They do either the mini tour or whatever. They go there first, do their thing, go to the movie, and then go back. So it's a whole night for them.
For what it's worth, Elf remains in theaters. It's on at 6 and 8:30 tonight.
There you go.
What was the last?
I want to
one?
see Hamnet.
What was the last one? I just asked her. I told her we were talking about it. She said, love it. I said, what was the last one?
This is making me want to go back after this and watch a Bond movie.
Ooh, what's your favorite Bond movie?
Oh Oh my goodness, what's it called? Is it No Time to Die?
Ooh,
that's a good one.
I like Goldfinger.
Goldfinger's a good one. I'm working through Goldfinger right now.
I love Goldfinger.
That's why I can't say Goldfinger, but I'm working through Goldfinger right now. But No Time to Die was really good. So was Dr. No, honestly. I was actually a pretty big fan of Dr. No.
Are you planning on going to go see Hamnet? I cannot believe how good the reviews are on Hamnet.
I have not seen anything about it, but I might give it a peek. I don't know.
Are you familiar with the story?
Nope. Not yet.
It's the biography of Shakespeare as he's writing Hamlet. It's kind of like the inspiration in his life for Hamlet.
My wife's gonna be all over that.
I'm gonna ring up Muncie.
Let's ring up my wife. She's gonna be all over that. She's such a movie buff of movies, book club and movies.
Hamlet's got on Rotten Tomatoes. It's gotta be 90-something%, right? Yeah, Hamlet's got a 92% on Rotten Tomatoes. If I wasn't doing high school basketball now, I'd go see Hamlet.
I'll ring him as we get out of the break.
Lottery?
All right, here we go, fellas.
Welcome back in the morning hookup. Happy Tuesday. Hope you're having a great start to your Tuesday. Do you have a favorite Christmas movie? Is there a must watch?
Home Alone.
Yeah, it's top of the line.
I got 3. Home Alone, Elf, Die Hard.
Die Hard is so my wife and I have we've been together since 1998. This probably started in 2001. Somewhere in there. Christmas Eve night, that's what we watch.
Die Hard.
We pour cocktails and we watch Die Hard for the last this will be the 24th installment of us doing that and hanging out on a Christmas Eve night where they go to bed.
Can I it's kind of a cheap movie. Like it's kind of cheating, but I love watching It's a Wonderful Life around Christmas time. It's literally my favorite movie of all time, but it's like I watch it around Christmas and it feels good.
Favorite movie of all time?
Yeah, it's a wonderful life.
I love It's a Wonderful Life.
Impressed. Well, let's bring on our guy that's always impressive, Brian Munson, HuskerOnline.com. B, what's up?
I'm good, guys. How are you?
I'm just learning stuff about these guys. We just talked about favorite Christmas movies.
Yeah, we got to get your take, Brian. What's the best Christmas movie?
Well, I just learned that a young man in his 20s said A Wonderful Life is his favorite movie of all time.
We used to watch that on the afternoon of Christmas every year growing up.
Hey, it's a great movie.
Well, my top 2 are pretty much like, they're easily. I mean, Christmas Story is obviously in there, but Christmas Vacation and
that's Chalky. That's a good one.
Christmas Vacation and Scrooge are there, but low key, like going back to my youth, like this is going to be funny, but there's actually 2 separate Christmas scenes in the movie Goodfellas. So I'd always like have to refer to like people will say that Die Hard's a Christmas movie. Well, then like Goodfellas might as well be considered a Christmas movie as well. With Joe Pesci and those guys all celebrating Christmas together.
That's a stretch, but I'll let it slide for now because you are our guest today.
Well, what about Lethal Weapon? I heard Lethal Weapon could have been a Christmas
What about
movie
Die
today.
Hard? Where are we on Die Hard?
Die Hard it takes place on Christmas Eve.
But it's set around Christmas. That doesn't make it a Christmas movie.
It's about it has Christmas values though. The magic of family. I mean, like whenever you think
Bruce
of a Christmas
Willis's
movie,
bald head does look like a Christmas ornament. So
that's not where I was going. But whenever you think about a Christmas movie, it's always about the power of the love of family, the magic of Christmas, the spirit of all that. That Die Hard falls into that. It's about a man fighting for his family.
I agree. I'm a component that it's there in every year when
realizing what's important in life.
And every year when I put toys together, I say his phrase, "Yippee-ki-yay." Yeah. Toys.
Yeah, isn't the mob just one big family too? Let's just be honest.
That's actually
like the mafia. Yeah,
they're just a little bit more sinister. That's all it is. We need to watch A Year Without Santa Claus. You know, the one with the Miser Brothers. You know, the old claymation one. That's what we need to sit down and watch.
Jesus, what is happening here? We got Brian Munson, HuskerOnline.com. Speaking of one big family,
these are the things we talk about as opposed to talking about Nebraska against Utah. And
we're not talking
the slaughter that may happen.
Yeah, we don't even know. Like it could be like it could be a lottery at quarterback coming up. But we're going to talk signing day. Came and went. Speaking of a big family, Brian, break this class down a little bit. Again, status quo. Not a very big class. But again, I said last week, I think that the class of rankings aren't as important anymore because everybody wants to tout it because there's a thing called the portal and there's a thing called cash that'll get you a really good team these days. But talk about this class and what its mantra is and what we can draw out of the kids that signed last week.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good. I think it's got some guys there at the top, and I think it has some guys that, that Nebraska, after they spent so much money in the portal last year, had to go out there and get some developmental guys. And I think that Nebraska is still very dedicated on putting players into the program and developing them. But you're looking at, like, there's at least one guy to me that, like, I refer to as the class gem. I mean, it's got to be Danny Odom. While still a 4-star on 3 is getting 5-star recognition on other networks. He's I think what makes him a 5-star beyond just like his gifts, his physical gifts, is his attitude. I mean, I'm going to have a getting to know article with him on Saturday morning. It's going to go up. And his interview, though, still is very, very vivid to me because I think it was because, number one, he was the top player in the class. I really want to kind of peel back the layers here and get to a couple, tough questions, but he's not like heels dug in on playing corner. I mean, he's totally willing to do whatever Addison and the defense and Matt Rule ask him to do. I mean, he will go out there and play safety. He will do whatever they want him to do. But I mean, he's got great length and good hips, and I think what separates him, and I think this is something that's going to be emphasized, I think, for as we kind of move forward with the recruiting, is that he's a pretty sound tackler. He can come downhill and he can make some hits. I mean, when you saw other guys like coming downhill and they're on a blitz and then they're diving at quarterback's ankles, it just doesn't work. You're going to need a couple more guys that are a little bit more physical, a little bit more willing, I think, to stick their noses into some places where, it's not going to necessarily feel good all the time. But you got to have that willingness to be that guy, to take on the responsibility of being the rusher or setting the edge or whatever. But I think that you're really looking at, there's really, I'd say 6 guys out of, probably 10 that I think could actually put themselves into a situation, like where they could see some playing time. I think actually 5 guys. I think it's half and half. I think like Nayland Scott gets really overlooked. He missed like 7 or 8 games this season, but he finished his season so strong. And it was really weird. Like McEachern, I think, was like undefeated, like going into the second round of the playoffs, and they just came up short and they lost, and their season was just kind of done abruptly. So that there, I think, didn't really kind of get the cherry on the top for him. Larry Miles, who I'll have a section of my 3 and Out with him tomorrow, he's still in pursuit of getting a national or state championship this Saturday. They play at noon down there in Florida. I think he and Nayland both figure in potentially into the mix at wide receiver. I think they both can do some exceptional things. Nayland a little bit longer. Larry, obviously more of a slot guy, but he could play various positions. Luke Sorensen, one thing that I took away from talking to him, he's over 250 pounds. And so from a tight end position, he is coming in physically ready to give this thing a go in December. So I'm going to be very interested to see how that kind of works out for him. And last but not least, Jamal Rule. I mean, obviously there's been a couple of very recent departures. I mean, you had Emmett Johnson going pro. You had the news of Jamarian Parker hitting the transfer portal last night. I definitely think Rule is going to have some eyes on him, when he gets there in December and when he's there in January and all the way through the spring, of like, can this guy play a role for us next year? So I think that those 5 guys, are really going to be kind of interesting to watch. Obviously then there's the 3 offensive linemen, and there's Jace Reynolds at linebacker. Then of course you get to the kicker, and the kicker's got a couple guys in front of him, but Nebraska seems to be interested in bringing somebody along as a kicker to kind of develop in their system, as opposed to just, well, our guy graduates or our guy went in the portal, we got to get a new guy. I don't think that they're interested in doing that year over year. So really fits the needs, fell a little short in some areas, particularly safety and defensive line, but overall a class that's not going to cost a lot of dollars to Nebraska, but does have some guys that could potentially start seeing some roles next fall.
One of the interesting names to me, Brian, is Claude Puma now stepping in with a new offensive line coach. And in college football, you don't see many true freshmen starting and playing big along the offensive line. But what is the development for him? What does it need to be for Jeep Wade as he steps in here? That's a big time recruit. Nebraska has lacked those kind of athletes at tackle. And when you go look at his Georgia Tech offensive lines, he has guys that fire off the ball, play physical, and I think most importantly are fluid movers in space. And that's what Claude Puma looks like at the high school level. What does Jeep Wade need to get from Claude Puma in the first couple of seasons? Because that feels like a guy Nebraska needs to build their offensive line around moving forward.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that he's really one of those first guys that Nebraska's gotten that is really a terrific athlete, being at 6'8" and 270 some odd pounds, or really close to 270. I guess I think he's like 268 when I talked to him. He was originally a soccer player, then he moved over and played basketball, and then he kind of graduated on to football.
Kind of sounds like Ndamukong Suh.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I made the comparison before to Ndamukong Suh. I mean, he's a guy that's just kind of outgrown the current sport, or it's been like impressed upon him that he could be like this prototypical in another sport, and it had to be kind of sold to him. But he took the bait on football, and it turns out that it paid off for him in the long run. I think that this is a really interesting guy to watch, because I don't feel like, he's got there's not an immediate need for him to be ready. He's only been in the game for a couple of years, I think, or actually it's 3 years, I think. He's going to need some physical development. He's going to need some refining. He's going to need to connect all the things. The light bulb's got to go on for him. But I think the first thing that always these offensive linemen are, they are first privy to when they come to Lincoln or they go to an All-American game is just the speed of the other athletes on the field all the way around them. And the dudes that they are going to see, particularly at offensive tackle, and all that space that can be out there, whether you've got a guy that's head up or a guy that's out at a 7 or trunked out at a 9, those guys are typically, like race car Puma kind of guys. Like they're 6'5", they're 260, they run 4.6s. Those are freaks, and you're going to get a chance to kind of finally start seeing those guys. When in before, you kind of had this ability to kind of latch on to a person and just kind of take them out of a situation, or get downfield and knock a bunch of guys on their their tuchus. And it's a very different game. And he's going to have to worry about seeing it and developing. But I think that he is the probably one of the best, I think, overall tackle prospects that Nebraska's gotten. And I think that you could hear the optimism when it came to Matt Rule talking about it. I mean, he was very fired up about having Puma in the class. I think there's a huge upside for Nebraska.
Brian, talk to me a little bit about the profiles in the receiver room that they're getting. Obviously, Nayland Scott, you talked about him with McKeecher, and he's a bigger body receiver, 6'2", 210. Larry Miles, 5'11", 175, kind of a jitterbug. Talk to me about the overall profiles and what you see in these young men's games that can help them fit into this basketball roster of a receiver room that you're trying to build with the different profiles.
Yeah, no, I think you kind of nailed it. I think that you want a room that has diversity. I think you want a room that has guys that are good at, you want guys that are good at everything, but I think you don't want everybody to look the same. And I think that's what kind of makes these two guys special, is because like you get, for example, like a Larry Miles, where he's kind of this, he's a terrific route runner, I think, number one. I think, but then on number two, he just has this quickness and an ability to kind of get free. He's very squirmy and tough to kind of get a square hit on, which I think everybody kind of likes about those receivers. I think there's some Ja'Cory Barney in there. He's maybe not quite as flashy as that, but I think that he's got an ability, I think, for Nebraska to try to find ways to get him the football and be very creative with it. While with Nayland, I think people would then just kind of turn around and go, well, you're a big jumbo X kind of athlete for Nebraska. But, and kind of listening to what Dino was saying, and kind of maybe even like judging on how they used Janaran Bonner before he got hurt, I think Scott could actually see a lot of time at slot. I think he's the kind of guy that you put into a slot, and because you typically roll over like some 5'9" nickel to put over the top of the slot. They're not going to like seeing a 6'3" guy like Scott there. and he could really go to work, I think, on a player like that. So I think that there's diversity with both of these guys within their skill sets. I think that Nebraska has ideas about where they could potentially line up for them. And I think that, honestly, I think a lot of the time it's just more or less just, let's get you into the practices. We'll throw you out at various positions. We're going to evaluate you here one day, evaluate you here another day, and kind of get a feeling about where it is that you can be of assistance to us. But I think at the surface, I think that those guys could figure into multiple spots when it comes to the offensive formations that Nebraska runs with Holgorsen.
Again, we're speaking to Brian Munson, HuskerOnline.com. B, talk about your new guys that you got. Wade coming in on the offensive line, Ulrich as the DC, and how their relationship and how relatable they're going to be to the current roster, or maybe what their mantra might look like with guys that they're going to bring in. Because typically, O-line, you see this size, this weight, this mobility, or again, 3-3-5, 4-2-5, whatever scheme you're looking at. But talk about those guys from the recruiting side about what they could bring to the table.
Well, I think on defense, I had a chance I was interested because I've heard a couple different things, but on the defense, I sat down and watched San Diego State play the Cal game last night. 4-2-5, which I think is a better fit for the Big Ten. I think you put an additional guy up there on the line of scrimmage. I think then it kind of, you look at then your current linebackers, and I think what it does, I mean, honestly, I think one guy that it's a huge benefit to him, like right off the bat, is Christian Jones. I think one player that's going to really benefit by this change in the defensive scheme is going to be Christian. But I think also you can kind of sit down and put together like a defensive line with maybe get there a little bit closer with the guys you have currently on your roster, although you still would probably want a little bit more of a square body dude, playing the nose. But I think you can get there with, the 3s and the 5s and the 7s that are currently on the roster. So I think that they have to feel good about that with the defensive tackles and the defensive ends that they've got. They probably have some guys that would be serviceable playing the nose position. I think, although that you still probably want to make some adjustments there. And then I think then at the linebacker level, you basically play in a Mike and basically a Mike and a Will. And I think that Christian could really, really, really benefit there. I think that he could be, he's a good athlete. I think he got bigger. I think he slimmed down. I think he could be a choice to either play that Mike or that Sam at that second level. I think it's a little different for him, but I think he's a guy that could really grow into that spot. I think, then you turn your kind of attention then back to the back end with the 4-2-5. I think Nebraska, obviously, they've ran a lot of athletes back there. They had a huge recruiting class, with the 2024 group. So they've got a bunch of guys obviously in the room. They can figure out, where things are at. They've had a lot of players that have gone down hurt between Hartzog and like Dre Bly or whoever else is like in that scenario where they've just been lost for the season or lost because of injuries. It's going to be interesting to kind of see how things work out. But you do have some stability there with Addison Williams, who I think would be a good choice for them to kind of keep around, have some consistency, because the passing game was very good this last year. I think they'll go over to the offensive line. I think what's going to be interesting, obviously, is that the technique, I think, is going to change. It's been one of those things that's been kind of fascinating to me going back to like Scott Frost days, has been just how, Donovan Raiola would have a chance to talk to a recruit and tell him about how he taught guys. And you'd get a lot of feedback from those guys to say, it's a different technique than how I'm being taught today. And, then you kind of talk around, the other schools in the nation. There's only 2 or 3 other schools that are doing it that way. And I think then that, you're going to obviously have a change there that's going to be implemented with how they're going to kind of do things very fundamentally. But I think that that's where, between that and, and the other coaches there at Nebraska, that they're kind of all, kind of know each other and know how things are going to kind of fall into place. They have to feel better about like having a couple more like pieces, so to speak, that can kind of talk to one another and kind of, compare notes and figure out how things are supposed to kind of go, because you don't have disjointedness. That's what I think that Nebraska seemed to kind of have. You just had this disjointedness across like the game plan, across how things were being taught, how things were kind of being, wanting to kind of to block a play, or how they were going to kind of do things, on certain things, and just like it just seemed to not flow from top to bottom. So now I think you're going to have more end to end, and I think that's going to be very helpful. But I think there's going to be changes in technique. I think there's going to be changes in style. I think it's going to favor some players on the current roster. I think it's going to potentially impact them negatively as well, where they don't fit any longer. What's kind of going on, like with an even front. There could be some guys that just don't look like that, and probably would need to kind of be told that or see it for themselves and just know they're not going to be a great fit.
It's Brian Munson with us here as we wrap things up on the morning hookup. And Brian, before we get you out, there's been a lot of smoke in the last 24 hours or so with Elijah Robinson. You thought he was going off to LSU. Now it seems like Nebraska's making a big push for him. We don't know what the situation is there, but I know Elijah Robinson down at A&M made a big name for himself as a recruiter and as a developer of talent. A lot of draft picks coming out of that Texas A&M defensive line when he was down there. Didn't go great for him at Syracuse, but what can you tell us about Elijah Robinson, and if he is the guy for Nebraska's defensive line coach, what that would mean for the Huskers?
Yeah, I think the story kind of caught me off guard. The scoop on Football Scoop last night was a little bit tough to kind of understand, because I think everybody just kind of felt like he was headed back to the SEC and he was going back to Baton Rouge. So to kind of have that little nugget in there that not just Nebraska was kind of throwing it down a little bit. I think there's other schools that were also trying to impress upon him that they were interested as well. But Sean did a great job last night about 9:00, maybe it was 10:00. That there's just nothing there. First of all, there's no job opening. Number one, I think that needs to be said first. But I think, even after that, it's like there's just nothing yet there to kind of tie him together. Although there is obviously a connection between Robinson and Rule. That goes back, I think, to Temple, where they were together for a while. So I think that there's it's an interesting situation, because I think that people kind of saw the defensive line this last year, and I think that I too have kind of watched maybe some things happening on the defensive line recruiting, going back even to like the portal guys in January, that just, I think to me, just didn't make a lot of sense. And I think there needs to be a better, clearer picture about how you are effective in these top conferences and these top programs, and what those guys need to look like. So I think that could really be a huge catalyst for Nebraska if there was any type of truth to the Robinson rumors, that there's anything going on between he and Rule. I think that would be a massive get for Nebraska. But like I said, there's no job openings yet, and whether that's maybe kind of like how quickly things changed with Donovan, last on Saturday, to where it was like gone, but then a new guy like quickly followed, could be something very similar as well. Just got to kind of hold on right now to both handles and make sure your tray tables are in the upright position.
Well, B, man, we appreciate your time as always, my friend. Great stuff. Take care of yourself. We'll talk to you real soon.
Sounds good, guys. Be good.
Brian Munson, HuskerOnline.com. Right there. Great stuff. Let's take a break. Come back and wrap up the show.
All right.
Baseball players out here getting paid in the winter. See what Schwarber just
got? Schwarber got $150 million.
5 for 150. The Dodgers are just dumb. I hate them. See what they just did?
Yeah, they splash catch on Edwin Diaz.
3 years, $69 million for a closer.
Nice.
Come on now.
Man, I thought Schwarber was going to the Pirates. See, they made an offer.
Yeah, 2 Snickers bars and a free movie ticket for downtown.
By the way, speaking of that, we cleared up the mystery movie situation. Here it is. You were asked to try and figure out what the movie was. I looked him up. My wife sent this to me. Here's where it worked. Every month, the mystery movie gives you a chance to catch a super secret hush-hush peek at a new movie. Not seen yet. There you go. What they do is they can't tell you. So I can tell you right now. So the next one, they already did that one. December 1st was an R-rated movie. The December 15th is PG-13. December 22nd is R, and the December 22nd one is a horror movie. Not even our theater staff knows which will be playing, so it's all a surprise when they put it on the reel and turn it on.
That's fun. It makes more, because sometimes you know too much about a movie going in, and it kind of ruins some of the surprise about it. It's kind of fun to go into a movie not knowing anything. It just starts.
She said all they tell you is, my wife even said, all they tell you, you pretty much what you get is the rating and approximately how long. That's it. And it is a movie that is not released yet.
And it's 2 hours or under.
Well, I think, is that what they say?
It's approximately 2 hours.
Approximately 2 hours.
Okay, so that rules out the new Avatar movie.
That's not a
because like last one they saw was Lottery.
No,
I don't know. It's not out yet. We don't know.
I thought it was an action movie coming up.
This one is.
That it was
PG-13.
Okay.
The 15th is PG-13. The 22nd is an R, and it's horror.
Okay.
So there you go.
That's intriguing. I am intrigued.
You can go out there, and it's a $6. You can buy your tickets. I believe it's $6.
We were just talking baseball, though. This is a funny headline. I was like, I wonder what the Rockies are doing this offseason. Have been following along.
They're chilling.
You guys want to hear the headline today on a Rockies site? The headline on Tuesday, December 9th at 7 a.m. Is it okay for Rockies fans to have hope?
Wow.
I mean, I'm not expecting my Cardinals to spend money. We're trying to trade off anybody who isn't bolted to the wall.
It's just so funny that the Colorado. Is it okay for? That's the whole point of being a fan, is to have hope. And the Rockies are so bad. The question is now:
not be okay.
Is it okay for Rockies fans to have hope? And the answer is probably no.
No. If you have to ask that question, the answer is no. Yesterday, when Moats had to, he put on the red gear, the Husker red gear. Do you know what YZ brought Moats that he wouldn't put on, Justice?
Huh.
A Cardinals hat.
Yeah.
He tried to get Moats to wear a Cardinals hat.
That would have been funny.
What? That's so good. Shane said, Bad Santa, best Christmas movie ever. Kobe wants to know what kind of soup you're working on.
None right now. I have the ingredients. Oh, I'm going to smoke a chicken on Wednesday, and then I'll likely be doing a chicken stock come Thursday. But I'm doing high school basketball Thursday night, so I don't know when I'll make soup. Probably Thursday night after I get off work, but we'll see.
That's the one we gave to Schmidt, yeah? Thursday?
Yes. Yeah, so, but I'm producing still, so.
They got you roped in.
And I'm training up all YZ tonight, producing Thursday, and then I'm calling a game on Saturday. So I got the full gamut of high school sports.
You get the full experience. I need Husker volleyball to continue to handle business because allegedly I'm on tap to go to KC for the Final Four.
You are?
Yeah, I'm on tap.
Let's hope they do, because I'll be down there Thursday for sure.
I can't wait to get Whataburger and Waffle House.
It's not about getting to call it. It's about
the food. Everywhere I go is about the food, Hooksy. LA was a food trip.
Boy, this is an interesting story we'll bring up. College football.
Columbus was a food trip. There's
we all are.
Food trips.
Find the hidden gems.
Anywhere you go in the world can be a food trip if you so choose.
It's true.
All right, here we go.
Welcome back in the morning hookup. Special thanks here to Brian Munson, HuskerOnline.com. Only a few minutes left, and we'll hit a couple stories that we missed.
The stories we missed.
Boy, we didn't know when it was going to happen. It was going to happen. Ross Dillinger just put out this tweet saying, groundbreaking endeavor. The University of Utah Athletics is entering into what could be a $500 million equity partnership with Ortho Capital, featuring the creation and shared ownership of a for-profit entity to operate athletics. The private equities have entered into college athletics.
I thought it was going to be Florida State and the Saudi PIF. They got me.
What is Ortho
They're
Capital?
also a unique opportunity concept is inviting its most prominent boosters to purchase a stake in the new private athletics company, Utah Brands and Entertainment LLC.
So they're going Green Bay Packers with it. You too can buy a stock in your favorite team.
No, they're privatizing college athletics.
Yes.
Yeah. But whenever you put it like that, it's less fun.
Yeah, I know.
We also
kind of makes me sad.
I actually did a whole presentation on this. I could give you the whole spiel.
The dangers of privatizing college
Yes,
athletics?
the dangers of private equity in college athletics. Actually, that was the entire thesis of my
must know
statement.
I'm talking. It just alerted me that just happened too. I already said it.
Well,
speaking of money, go for it.
Hey, Kyle Schwarber got paid $150 million. 105 of that's guaranteed.
My goodness, 30 a year.
Book it, sign
Get you
it, take it to the
some
bank.
for,
Edwin
for 375 strikeouts and 54 home runs.
Hey, but Edwin Diaz, 3 years,
And
$69 million.
can't play
Nice.
They don't play defense.
Dodgers got another flamethrower. They're ruining baseball. I'm kidding.
And the Rockies still suck.
And the Cardinals are trading for prospects.
Yeah.
Shut up, bro.
All right. Tomorrow, Henry T. Buchanan. We'll talk a lot of Huskers and all that good stuff. You guys have a great Tuesday. We'll catch you on a hump day.